Hey, and welcome everybody to the feature session on adaptive cards and graph connectors. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Jeremy Thake. I'm a Principal PM on the Microsoft Graph team. And today I have with me, all the way from Brisbane, Australia, Rabia Williams. I think you're on mute, Rabia.
Yeah, that was bound to happen.
We've all seen that before, right?
Hey everyone, my name is Rabia and I'm Cloud Advocate for Microsoft 365. I'm so excited to be here with everyone, and let's get started with the new announcements. Take it away, Jeremy.
Thanks, Rabia. So today we're going to be covering a few things. We're going to be covering how you bring your data into Microsoft 365 experiences, and that's going to be presented by myself. And then Rabia is going to go and present on how you can deliver universal actions in both Outlook and inside of Microsoft Teams. Now, as you know, we've already announced in the past that Ignite in November, the ability to connect Microsoft Graph data into Microsoft 365 experiences. And we've had many of our connectors shipped ourselves in the Graph Connectors Gallery. But in addition to this, we've had our partners such as Accenture, BA Insight, and Raytheon of over 100 different connectors that allow you to connect external content directly into the Microsoft 365 experiences. Now, to date, those have all been inside of the search experience. Today, we're going to talk about how you can bring this into the intelligent discovery area of Microsoft 365 and the compliance area of Microsoft 365. Now, there's no better way to show this to jump into a demo. So I'm going to jump straight over to my laptop. And you'll see here on the screen that I'm already showing the SharePoint user experience that we've shown before in these conferences that is showing graph-connected content. Now, in this case, it's Go1. Go1 is a partner that basically delivers digital education experiences to customers shared with us with Microsoft 365. And so you can see here that we're searching for sales courses and showing all these Go1 courses. I can easily click on Launch. Now, we don't just show this in SharePoint. We can show this inside of Bing through these same verticals for courses. And we can also show this inside of Office.com, where we're showing exactly the same results. Now, today what we're announcing is that now if I jump over to Microsoft Teams experience in the client, and I go up to the search box, which we use all the time in all of our experiences, and I just click over here on the Apps view, I'll actually see that same connected content showing up inside of Microsoft Teams. Now, a normal flow for me, if I've got a new hire starting, is that when I click on this experience, I'll go grab that URL, and then I'll be able to see that video. And I can even go and check to make sure it's the right course that I'm looking for to send to my new employee. Now, if I pause that video there, what I would typically do is grab that URL, go back into Teams, go over to Chat, and find Megan, my new hire, and paste this into the address bar and say, this is the video I mentioned, and hit Enter with a nice typo. Now, there's some work the Microsoft Search team has been doing. They've made this even easier now. And with these new message extensions, which you see down the bottom, and I'm sure a lot of you devs out there like myself use GIFs every day to communicate with your team, if I click on the Microsoft Search icon and click on the external vertical here, like we did in that previous one, you'll see that I can go and search for all the sales courses for Go1. And with one click now, rather than bouncing into the browser and copying and pasting the URL, I can go and insert that adaptive code straight into Microsoft Teams. It's cool, right, Rabia? Like, I think I use this a lot already in our dev environment, and I can't wait for everyone else to use this. But wait, Rabia, there's more. So now if I jump over to my mobile phone here, you'll see on my iPhone, I'm inside of Teams on the iPhone here, and like you would here, you just click on Search, and if I type in sales, you'll actually see the same results coming through. And in this case, it's actually suggested that there is some sales content inside of an apps vertical of Go1. And when I click on this, you'll see the exact same connected content showing up on that Teams mobile. Now, this is really cool because I can launch these courses and from the comfort of my sofa, watch these videos when I'm taking a break between all my meetings. So, but we're not done there. If I switch back to my Windows machine, we've now also given the ability to kind of search for this in Windows 10. So if I type in here, sales courses, and you'll notice I actually have to type the word courses because that's the vertical that we're targeting with the search. What this will show me is all of the courses here to allow me to launch straight from Windows 10 search like I did in Teams or Office.com or SharePoint, how to launch those Go1 courses. Now, the most exciting part about this is Office.com. If I go over to Office.com, I live in Office.com. I start my day here. It's my ability to see the last Word documents I was working on, Excel documents, PowerPoint documents. But to the astute eye here, you'll see that we're also listing now that same graph-connected content. Now, the really cool thing about this is that you'll notice that it's showing that I've shared some content in a Teams chat. So this will only work for graph-connected content that are showing up as URLs inside of Teams, because Teams recognizes that it's connected. But it's not just for sharing URLs in Teams. If I hover over on my carousel here, you'll see that it also knows other things, like the activity. I've opened those courses inside Go1, because Go1 can now send those activities over into Microsoft Graph. This is going to be such a great opportunity for partners to be able to be part of our experiences like Office.com.
I see great opportunity for partners to show their contents in this.
Yeah, it's really, really neat. I'm really excited to see what partners do with this. Not only does this give me a seamless search experience, but the apps and content that have been added to Microsoft 365 are now supported by security and compliance. For example, if the compliance team is running an eDiscovery, when they create their eDiscovery case and gather content for review, they can return data not only from M365, but also connected systems with graph connectors. This gives them a single pane of glass to review. And in this example, this is showing Lumapps, one of our partners, sharing their connected content alongside our Microsoft 365 content. Now, going deeper here, if I switch back to my laptop, let's demonstrate how this works in Postman. So, if I go to my screen here, there is a blog post that covers all of this. If you can go to aka.ms/graph-postman. When you're in this screen, you'll see a bit of an explanation about why we did this. And if you scroll down to the bottom, there is some steps in our docs and a nice video by yours truly that walks you through getting this configured in your own Postman environment. Once you have that configured, you'll essentially have the Microsoft Graph collection showing on the left-hand side here with both delegated calls and application calls. Now, if I expand the application calls, you'll see now these graph connectors showing up. And I'll have some requests here for both setting it up and also doing the sync. Now, if I click on the request here, what you'll see is that if I click send, the first time I run it, I'll get an invalid authentication token. And this is because we haven't got a new token to run against this request. And this is inheriting from the application folder right at the root. So all of these calls underneath application folder are going to use this one application token. I click in here and scroll down and click Get New Access Token. And that will allow me now to see this nice new access token, no screen scraping please, and click Use Token. Now, if I go back to Get All Connections and click Send, now you'll see all of the connections that have been configured in this case, my developer tenant. So I have two, and we're going to be using this build sample connection ID now. If I do create connection, if I wanted to create this from the beginning, all you do is add the ID, the name, and the description. And one thing to call out is, it's really important this is used as your ID as a friendly name. And you'll see that used in the rest of the URLs that we use throughout this example. Once we've connected the connection, we can get it very easily by going to Connections and then Build Sample Connection ID, which is that friendly ID name. And when we run that, you'll see all the information about that particular connection. The only other thing you need to do with a new connection is register the schema for it. Again, Connections, that ID, and then the schema. And then you'll see all the different properties that you're going to create as part of each individual submission to that particular connection, including things like the container name, the container URL. You can go and check that schema just by, again, going in and using a get with the schema on there like that. Now, once you've set that up, you can very easily go and post new content to it. Now, what I've done in the past here is just go over and click to duplicate that request. And I'm going to go put in a new piece of content, number 3, just to be safe. And in the body of this content, you have to just confirm the access control list. In this case, developer environment, you know me, everyone can access it because I'm the only one who can access my development environment. And then I have to put in the properties. So what's the title of the result we're using here? What's the icon URL, which will show up in our search experiences? What's the URL that's going to be used when we launch those search experiences? And then also, what is the text that's going to be used that is indexed so that it shows up based on the queries that you use? Now, if I ran this now, and I need to just change my title here, what you'll see is now that that's going to go away and give me a 200 response, and I've submitted that content. Now, I can fetch that content just by using the get item. So you can see here, if I change that ID to that individual item, I can go and return that and see that part de there for the title. But you can't get back all of the results using these APIs because we're powered by search. Now, search the APIs doesn't work with application only. It only works through delegated flows because it's always used in the context of the user doing the search. And so in the search folder here, you'll see under search external items, we can do a search with the external items, targeting that particular content source with that query string of sales and call out which fields we want to return in those results. Now, the first time I run this will also give me a unauthorized because the authorization for this request being under delegated is inheriting from that token. So the first time you run it, you will need to go over to here, scroll down on the authorization tab for that folder and click get new access token and then sign in as the user you want to use that search from. This is great because you can test it with different users. Once I've done this, I get my delegated token and I can click use. And now if I go back to that particular request and click run, that token will be valid because it hasn't expired like the last one I was using. And you'll now see in the results set two results. The first one, which was the sales training video, and that second one we just submitted, which was a sales training video part deux. So you're able to use the graph-connected APIs here alongside the search APIs to test that all your work is working correctly. Now, if you want to get started, I'd highly recommend going to aka.ms/graph-postman to see those results like that. Now, this is a great time to talk about a new feature that we're adding inside of Microsoft 365, which is called Federated Search. Federated Search is really just our understanding from hearing from feedback from you about the fact that you have your own investments inside of enterprise search. And rather than connect that content into the experiences, you can actually extend and federate to your own search platforms that you own. Now, as an example of this, Dynamics 365 content will be coming into our search experience soon using this federated technology. And soon, through a private preview that you can sign up for here, you'll be able to access and sign up and try these things when this private preview kicks up. Now, just to recap what I've shown in the demos today. We've shown, obviously, that with general availability, that with Office.com, SharePoint.com, and Bing.com, those are generally available right now. The search inside of Teams and Windows will be in public preview very, very soon, along with that eDiscovery security and compliance play that will be public preview too. The intelligent discovery aspects that we showed in Office.com with those activities that show in the all feed and the recommended feed will actually also be part of our private preview system first. So if you're interested in those, please go to aka.ms, search dev private preview to sign up today. Now, I also demoed the search APIs. Now, those search APIs that I showed, if you were really kind of astute on it, you would have noticed I was doing some filtering in my query. I specifically called out I wanted to see the title, the URL, and the icon URL. That was filtering my search results and reducing my payload to make it more optimal for you when you're using the search API, which is really, really cool. In addition to that, we have a speller API that allows me that when I make a typo, when I'm passing something through in maybe your own experience with the API, it'll not only return you the results for the incorrect spelling, but it'll make the suggested results for the correct potential spelling as well, in this case, information. And then in addition to that, we have the result types using adaptive cards to render those results directly inside of all of those experiences we've talked about. Now, I wouldn't be doing my job unless I showed you some cool new features that are coming in the future. And so I couldn't resist to show you a sneak peek into something new we're working on too. So this is the SharePoint experience showing the Azure DevOps work items. And you'll notice that we're using an adaptive card here to present that in a particular way. But you'll also notice we have this ability to have an action on that adaptive card. And so you can see here that this work item is committed. And maybe I actually want to roll it back to new because I realize that someone's made a mistake. When I click done here, they'll actually go and update that status straight from within inside of the search experience in SharePoint. And so this means now I don't have to go over to Azure DevOps to go make those changes, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, this is going to save so much time for me because I keep jumping from DevOps to Office.com or Teams. So this is just great.
Right? I just love the fact that I don't have to leave the experience I'm in to get my work done. I think it's super, super powerful. And I think the adaptive card space is just growing so fundamentally. And I'm really excited for you to share everything you're doing now on adaptive cards. So come on, Rabia, show me everything you've got on universal actions.
Sure thing, Jeremy. So we have some really new features, cool new features in adaptive cards with their new universal action model. You're going to hear this a lot from me, the universal action model. So keep in mind. So for everyone here who is not familiar with adaptive cards, they are platform agnostic snippets of UI sent as JSON that apps and services can share. Adaptive cards not only adapt to the look and feel of where they're hosted, but also provide rich interaction capabilities. They are cross-app, and with that comes a problem. We have different hosts, and with each host, we have different action model at the moment. Although the layout and rendering are universal, action handling, like I mentioned before, in adaptive cards are not universal. In Teams, a bot uses action.submit, and in Outlook, it uses action.http. Yeah, that's right. So this existing inconsistency challenges developers as well as end users, which is why we now have the universal action model to consolidate these actions into one unique global universal action. In the new model, cards ordered using action.execute action type works both in Outlook and Teams seamlessly. Universal actions are currently in GA for both Teams and Outlook. So if you are a developer, you might be wondering what's happening behind the scenes. So for that, I have here how it looks in the previous model. We have our multiple apps hosted in multiple hosts. And they were connected to different backends. Now they are generalized using bots or bot framework, being the way to build a backend for adaptive card based scenarios. Now let's take a look at the new features in this model. Same card is being used in Teams and Outlook, as you can see here. You can provide the latest information in that card thanks to the refresh and some message editing in Teams. User-specific views in Teams. Now, this is a really cool one. Today, every user in Teams chat or channel sees the exact same view of the adaptive cards that they are presented in the conversation. But however, in certain scenarios, you might have a requirement for certain users to see certain information only or certain actions only. So with the introduction of this new model, bot developers can now provide user-specific views of adaptive cards. As an example here, we have Megan, Alex, and Nestor all have different views of the same card in the same conversation based on their role in the business process. Sequential workflow support. This capability actually helps users go through their own respective workflows without interrupting another user's process. So what that means is users can go ahead and progress through one adaptive card instead of sending multiple cards in the same conversation. So let me make it a bit more simple for you. Let's look at a catering bot example here. In this conversation, Alex has confirmed the order. Natalie has yet to confirm the order. She's always confused about food. And Lee has not even started ordering yet. All different independent states. Same conversation though.
So Rabia, can you show us a demo of how that would work?
Absolutely. So let's jump onto a partner app that is already built using this new universal action model.
We will showcase the Tata Consultancy Services Industrial Connect bot, which is a one-stop solution for field workers to capture all the information that they need to interact on a daily basis. Megan, a safety inspector at Contoso here, observes a boiler leakage. She immediately opens the Teams channel for incident management and mentions the TCS Industrial Connect bot and raises the incident. The bot replies in the same thread, as you can see here, with a card for Megan to update incident category, source, and site. Next, let me just show you 3 tabs here. First one is Megan, who submits the incident. Alex is the second one, the safety lead, who has to approve this incident. And Nestor here is a passive member of the team. Only Megan is able to see this view of the card. Other users can see a message that the incident is being raised. Megan submits all the details in, and the card is updated for every user to see in this same conversation, but with different views. Megan gets a card with all the incident details and the option to cancel the request. Alex, the safety lead for the plant, gets an approval card to approve the incident with the approve and reject buttons. Nestor, a plant maintenance worker, gets a card with no action at all, just details of the incident and its date. Alex also gets the same approval card on Outlook. Alex goes through the incident and approves it. The card updates to reflect that the incident is approved, and all 3 of them, Megan, Alex, and Nestor, can also see the latest state reflected on Teams with the help of auto refresh capability. Now, that is so cool, like everything right here in your application for all the information that you need to get your work done. And we have other 3 scenarios as well to show you. We've got our partner Go1 has built a delightful universal action-based integration that allows professors to share learning content with students who can then manage these recommendations via adaptive cards. Zoho has built 3 useful integrations for everyday enterprise scenarios like new employee onboarding, project management, and custom form creation. eCare Vault is another launch partner for Universal Actions who have used Universal Actions to enable students get special care for learning difficulties and mental health needs. In short, there are a wide range of scenarios that adaptive cards backed by Universal Actions can power within your enterprise.
This is really cool. But Rabia, what does the developer experience look like for this? Like, there's some great demos there, but let's show some code.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So let's dive into a short demo to see how that looks like.
So this is a sample EcoBot which takes input from an adaptive card and returns the message as a new adaptive card in the same conversation. So let's jump into the code and see this existing model, which is action.submit, action type, and version 1.2. We're going to go ahead and paste the new universal action model, which has basically the new action type, action.execute, the new version 1.4 of adaptive card. Also, we have the new refresh clause for the cards to auto refresh. From a bot perspective, we've got a new invoke type coming from Outlook and Teams. We also have something called verb, which basically would help you differentiate the action.execute calls. And based on these verbs, you could process the card, basically prepare your adaptive card response, and then send it back again to the same card with data and new card even. So this is how the refresh works. So let's go ahead and run this application. This is running locally on my machine. And once the bot is ready, let me just show you the Azure side of things. I've got the bot registration here and in channels. I have connected already to Microsoft Teams and Outlook actionable message, which is what's required for you to do in order for it to work in both Teams and Outlook. In my Teams, I've got a group chat, and I'll open up the App Studio and install this sample EcoBot. I'm going to install it right into the group chat. Search it up for project 2021 and then set the bot up. Once set up, it mentions itself in the compose area. So I'm going to type the message in. This invokes the bot, which will give me this adaptive card where I can type in a message and click on send. Once it's sent, you can see the card instantly refreshes itself there without giving me a new card. In Outlook, you can see it's the same card or whatever you saw in Teams. Let's try out again from Outlook. Send a message saying hello from Outlook. Send it back again. So again, we're performing the same function. It refreshes itself not only in Outlook, but also in Teams. So that's the beauty of this new model.
That was really cool, Rabia. So what can you tell us about the roadmap for this stuff you've just shown?
Yeah, Jeremy. So here is the adaptive card roadmap. We've got new features coming up, really exciting ones for the version 1.5. Go to aka.ms/AC roadmap to find out more. But before we wrap this up, I have another exciting news on something that uses adaptive cards very heavily. These are messaging extensions coming in Outlook. That's right, you heard it right. We are bringing the whole ecosystem of Teams search-based messaging extensions to Outlook. For a developer, you don't need to do anything much apart from registering your application in for Outlook channels. And then once the capability is turned on, the users would automatically start seeing the messaging extensions in Outlook. A small peek into how that looks. You can see a search-based messaging extension in action here from Outlook. Really cool stuff. And that's all the news from me today. Over to you, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's really cool to see something we demoed earlier on in Teams showing up in Outlook as well. That's really, really exciting. So to get started, you can go sign up for the Microsoft 365 developer program right now. And then from a Graph Connectors perspective, it's nice and easy. aka.ms/graph connectors will get you started on all this stuff today. Rabia, from your perspective, how do they get started with actionable messages and adaptive cards and so forth?
Yeah, so for the new universal actions, you can go to aka.ms/universal-actions-model to learn all about it.
That's awesome. Look, it's always an honor to have you on stage with me. Thank you so much for joining me today, Rabia, and hopefully you enjoyed all this stuff. And look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great, Rabia. Thank you so much. 17 hours ahead. Jeremy, she carried the show. Nice job. You made it.
Thanks,
you made
Ben.
it.
Thanks,
Your viewer
Ben.
is going to love it.
You can, well, your morning starts now, Rabia.
It was great.
Oh, man, I haven't even had coffee.
What
Can you
are they?
believe it?
Thanks.
Oh.
All right.
See you,
We're done.
Rabia.
We can go now.
This was actually filming?
All right. Let's go. Come on.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
okay, okay.